Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are, whatever time it is. Welcome to the Secrets of a Ghostwriter. Today, sequence, not dates. One of the biggest problems that I've encountered ghostwriting books for people is that they can't remember anything. Well, they can, but when you get to specifics, it can be a struggle. And this is no surprise because if you've got a story to tell, you've probably lived a big chunk of your life, and many of the memories go way back. This is also going to be an issue for people that are writing legacy books themselves, that want to leave an account of their life to their family, and they're not particularly bothered if they sell books. They just really want to go on the record and show their family what they've done in life. Should you get hung up on dates? Well, I'll tell you, the first thing that I do in a ghostwriting session, the first session with every new client, is I will sketch out their family tree. And I will ask when they're born and when their parents were born. Now, a lot of this stuff won't actually go into the book, but you will find in sessions, people will say, oh, well, Debbie left home then, and Nigel became a chef. And of course, they're talking as they would talk ordinarily about their brother and sister. So just turn back to page 1 of your book. You've got your family tree. Oh, yeah, there's Nigel, there's Debbie. But they're names that have been rolling off the tongue of the client for decades. But to you, they're just pie in the sky names. So I map it and I put names to their relative titles. I also take those date of births, particularly of parents. And one of the reasons that I do that is because there's a generation here who lost parents and lost time to the First World War and the Second World War. So I think that's really important. You can establish that straight away, the social context into which your subject was born. Beyond that, I'm not too bothered about dates. Now, if their story runs into something that is very much in the historical public domain, if you took, for example, the Hillsborough football disaster. I mean, there are dates there that you can Google. And for anybody that's affected by that story or was involved in it, it's clearly a landmark moment in their life. And it also means that people who read your book might cross-reference things. So don't, for goodness sake, get the date wrong. But when I say to people, what year did you go to university? And they say, oh, I don't know, 1967, 1968. And they stress about it and they think that they're not delivering and being helpful as a client. I always say to them, it doesn't matter, because there are some great words in the English language that can replace the need to pinpoint a date. Yes, you need a few big dates in there. The example I gave you, people's births. But instead of saying, I went to university in 1969, oh, it might have been 1971. I mean, generally you can find out stuff like that because people's musical tastes will match up and you can find old copies of charts, etc. But you can say phrases like, not long after I left school, a few months later, some time had passed since my father left us. It must have been the best part of a decade before I realized. Sometime into the new millennium. Do you see? So you don't need, other than a few building blocks, to ever get hung up on dates if you're writing a memoir. But for goodness sake, you must get the sequence right. You know, we can't have somebody going to university just after they're born, unless they're an absolute child prodigy, you know. But that's a daft example. But the sequence of events, particularly when it comes to ex-wives, jobs. Let's get them in the right order. You can get by without knowing the dates. There is no replacement for not getting the chain of events as they happen, the chronology correct. So that's why I say sequence over dates. And when you stop stressing about it, and I see everybody stressing about it, everything runs just a bit smoother. So I hope that's helpful. And I'll see you next time when The Secrets of a Ghostwriter continues.